Hey family, it's your girl Ms. Mofilla, and you already know we're back with another dose of the Critical Breakdown. This sit down is beyond overdue because somebody got into their travel bag and disappeared for a very long time. I'm not saying no names, but we got the one and only Shana. Shana Bryant from Open Streets in the building. Say hi, sis.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Hi, Mo. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you
Being
here.
patient with my extended travel schedule.
Well, listen, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I kept telling her on a weekly basis how jealous I was of her because I want to live that life. That is so beautiful to be able to just get away, but still be functioning. I love that.
Yeah, it's a workation.
Ooh, workation. We're gonna get into that and all that is Shana Bryant, honey, on the Critical Breakdown. Let's get straight to it. Now listen, ma'am, I could run your resume because I've been watching you, man. But I think it'd be better if you do. If you could let the people know, if you wanted to give like that LinkedIn resume thing, you know, we talk about kind of give the profile of who you are and what it is that you do for those who are living under a rock, because you might not know the name.
All right. So Shana Bryant from Shana Bryant Consulting.
Yes.
The resume really is over the last 15, 20 years. I started as a serial volunteer with NAACP Boston branch.
Nice.
Spelman Boston had an alumni association, and I was planning events with both of those organizations for over a decade, and realized that I was really good at this thing called telling people what to do, which then transitioned and became a transferable skill of like managing up and all things operations. And then I realized, it's actually but it's event planning and managing, planning, execution, all of those things. And so in 25 years ago now, so 2019, I had the opportunity to go full-time because I was laid off from my 9-to-5 job. So went full-time with the business, planning somewhere around 19, 20 events as a solo entrepreneur in 2029, and managed to survive COVID.
Oh, Jesus.
Just barely survived COVID,
Barely,
but survived COVID. I didn't have to shut the business down. I didn't have to go find a 9-to-5, and then was blessed with this opportunity for Open Streets Boston, secured this contract in 2021, and was able to execute 3 events in 2022, 5 events in 2023, and 6 events in 2024. So we are just constantly growing.
Yes.
And I'm just really excited with our growth and where we're going, and so it's been a lot of fun.
I'm so excited for you. I feel like I tuned into your story at the Open Street portion, right? We got introduced through a mutual party. Shout out Dante, man, always making the big connections, man.
An amazing videographer.
Yes, absolutely. But in meeting you, you have such a kindred spirit, and a lot of the things that you describe, I never knew what to title it. So consulting, telling people what to do.
It's just really telling people what to
it.
do, and I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah, so how did we get here? So tell me, I know you said you got laid off. What were you doing when you got laid off?
I was working for a nonprofit, and it was actually, I had only been there a year, about 11 months when they told us that we were gonna get laid off.
Oof.
Before that, I had worked in healthcare for 15, 20 years. And so I literally had just made the jump from working in healthcare to working with a nonprofit. And within that time went from, everything is amazing, the organization's growing, to I was the second round of layoffs, and we were given 3 months notice. And at that point, I had decided or had a conversation with God and was like, okay, either I'm gonna jump or I'm gonna go find another job. And the worst that what I recognize what can happen is I can go back to a 9-to-5 with whatever experience that I pulled from the entrepreneurship journey. And so I jumped. And before I jumped, I was able to secure enough contracts that covered my salary.
Dope.
And then I knew that, again, the worst that can happen is I don't do well with this, I don't figure enough out, and I can always go back to a 9-to-5 and continue with the part-time as a business owner, or 5 years later, still standing as a full-time entrepreneur.
Period. That girl. No, but tell me, I feel like a lot of these conversations I've been aligned to have it for a reason, because I'm in that transition myself right now.
Ooh, I love it. Let's go.
So I need to know, like, where did you gain that confidence to be like, I'm going to take the skills and knowledge that I learned in the 9-to-5 world and apply it to doing it for myself?
So there was a big buzz. I started the company part-time officially in 2017. It was a really big buzz about women entrepreneurship and resources in the city of Boston. And so I had did a business planning course in 2027 and an accelerator in 2018. And so it was just kind of like, okay, I thought I was going to be a virtual assistant because I was good at the administrative part of also managing up.
Okay.
And I quickly realized I could give two shits about Excel, right? Like ain't no Excel master here. And I'm not interested in literally managing someone. And I realized all of those things that I was doing in my 9 to 5, in my after 5 as well as 9 to 5. So managing up in my 9 to 5 and after 5, managing, planning, executing events for the nonprofits that I was working with. I just realized that like this is a skill set, a transferable skill set that I'm really good at, and I think I can get paid for this. Now I don't know what I can get paid, but I do think that somebody will pay me to plan their, when I started, smaller events, and now we're at 10,000 plus events. But it was
throw that number out. Wait, you see how she just,
or a 60,000 person event series.
Yes.
Not light work. It ain't light work.
Ain't.
Them 500 person events are definitely light work compared to the work that is necessary, the team to manage when it comes to open streets. But I just realized that like this is what I'm good at. Literally, this is a skill set, project management, thinking practical about deadlines and due dates and how to get things done, not wasting people's time. And also just realized that it was a lot of literally telling people what to do.
Cool.
Reminding people that this task,
Yep.
I need you to do this so we can move this along and so forth. And I'm just good at it.
Yes,
My family will tell me, we not on your Open Streets payroll or your SBC payroll, so you can't be telling us what to do. You're not our boss. Then I'll be I am the boss. I'm the
everywhere.
I'm the boss of the family. Like
when you just got that boss energy, it translates
I'm
everywhere.
the boss. Yes. My parents be like, you're not the boss of everything over here. So,
but she is though.
I am.
Now tell me, I'm trying to get to the nitty gritty. Listen, I'm getting y'all the cheat codes for those who might not be able to sit through the accelerator course. Okay, how do you put a price tag on that?
I had to learn over time. So I will say I was blessed with my first client who was my previous employer. I actually had a rate for planning and then I had a rate for executing, which at that time it made sense to me. And they were like, we're just gonna take this higher rate and because it's just easier for payroll and all of that. We don't need these different rates. And so they were able to help me start off with the rate of $125 when I jumped my first year. And I was like, oh, okay, great. And at that time it was just me and
no, wait, I want to make sure.
minimal.
You said $125, is that per hour?
An hour.
Ooh, yes.
So that was $125 an hour back
Lord.
in 2019 that I knew at that time it was covering me and the minimal operations of a website and Slack or, those smaller things. And then over time in 2019, I worked with Leaf, who is, I'm not gonna try to figure out the acronym, but if you look up LEAF, it's an acronym for the local enterprise that works with, it's a CDFI. And they helped me with specifically understanding my numbers. So something that I hired a coach in 2019 and something she made very clear and pressed me to do was to get QuickBooks and to integrate my bank accounts and to understand how to categorize and read a P&L and a cash statement and so forth. And so some of the basic things to understand the numbers with your business.
Okay.
And Leaf has been very helpful with literally every time I talk to them, they're like my unofficial CFO until I can hire a CFO. And so they've been very helpful with understanding the rates for a nonprofit, a for-profit, government entities. And, that may be a range, but really understanding what it takes to operationally run the business on a monthly basis, how much I need to get paid. And then as I continue to bring on staff, how much is going to cost me to cover that, and then understanding my profitability. So this is something that I don't think enough small businesses do. You don't understand profitability. And so we can talk about revenue until we're blue in the face. Yes, I now am at 7-figure revenue. But when we talk about profitability, this is where the money lies. This is where I'm actually making money, right? You can be bringing in revenue and you can be paying yourself and you can be breaking even. And for the first few years with the business, that was very much like I'm paying myself. I know that I'm making money. I know that, I can pay my bills. I can do the things that I want to do on the side. But then we're breaking even, and then there's no money left over at the end of the year. We can't grow. We can't, reinvest into the business, or I can't even increase my salary, right? So I'm working harder.
So I need a raise too, okay?
Right, so I need a raise too, right? And so really understanding profitability and your margins when it comes to that. And so if I can go from 6% to last year, my profitability, according to my accountant, was somewhere between 30 and 35%.
Yes, God.
Right? So when we think about that with 7 figures, that means that there's money that goes back into the business, right?
Yeah. That's
6
a good
figures
number.
that are going back into the business.
That's a good number.
And then whether or not I want to give myself a pay raise, or I'm going to invest this into bringing on a team member. I brought my first FTE, so full-time employee on this year. She started in March.
Congratulations.
There'll be a big announcement. We got to get through the 90 days, but things are going well.
Listen.
But so understanding profitability and how to get there, and understanding your numbers, so that if that means I got to spend less on other things so that I can get there, or if I got to, I think a lot of brown and black owned businesses, we tend to pay ourselves last, or believe that when the cuts come, it's got to be for me. And I'm continuing to learn as I'm growing. With kind of a new circle of networking advisors, you need the business to work for you, not you work for the business.
Come on.
And so there is no cutting my salary because we need to figure it out. If you think about these big businesses, multi-million
CEOs are not firing themselves.
CEOs are not firing themselves, and they are not cutting their salaries or their benefits. They're finding other ways to create a lean model for other parts of the business. And so, moving forward, I want to be really deliberate about, I'm not cutting anything because I work hard.
I know that's right.
Right? Creating the lifestyle and the things that I need to do to really continue to make sure this business is working for me and the life that I'm continuing to manifest. But you definitely got to understand your profitability, and you've got to have margins. If you can have margins above what industry standards are, you're doing hella good. Hella good.
I could eat up all this knowledge from you all day long. I'm about to say Shana again. What is going on today, Shana?
But my name is Shana.
Her name is Shana Bryant. I don't know why.
All right, Mo, it's cool. She's got a student named Shana, and she's dope.
She's clearly dope. Clearly she's dope, but she's on my mind and my spirit. Shout out to you, Shana. Shout out to you. Good God. But I wanted to pick your brain just a little bit more, because I feel like you've got that business side, and it came through a lot of knowledge and sitting in classrooms and learning, right? But building a team, they don't teach that in the classroom.
They don't.
They don't teach that. So how did you figure that part out? They don't teach that part.
So I will say, I have been really blessed. A lot of my team has been pulled from my inner circle of friends that are good at certain things, and I trust them, and they're ready to work, right? So I really have been really lucky with particularly a lot of the subcontractors that I have to pull on for my events. Up until, like I said, this year, my first full-time person, everybody is kind of a subcontractor. And so I've been really, literally my first or second degrees of separation has been where I've hired my pool from people that I've met in community, and then we're close and, extended family. And I know their skill set, and I believe in their skill set. Some of it is they may not be completely ready for this role, but I see what you're capable of and believe that, together we can continue to grow you. And so that really has been where all of my, up until, like I said, the first hire, I've had to go outside of my inner circle for the first time. And that will, we'll just figure out as we continue to grow. Is it inner circle, or is it, in order to be able to grow, you do have to, at some point, let go of the trust issues that you have, and know that there's other people out there that can do, the necessary jobs a hell of a lot better than me, so that I can focus on what I need to be focused on, which is on the business, is not working on the task of, executing and working in the business.
Yeah, I feel like it's so dope that as I'm getting older, that I'm recognizing a lot of times your network is literally your friends, the people that are around you, that are really going to help you make your dreams a reality. You talked about
if you're blessed,
because sometimes they're not on your team. Sometimes they're on your team, but not on your team.
But that sounds like we're both blessed. So,
Amen. But I was going to say the trust issues. A lot of people don't talk about that. Trying to venture out into your own business and pursuing your dreams and trying to make your creativity a reality, right? Trusting people with that. Oh God.
Well, I'm trusting people with my name, right? Like that's
literally,
the other thing, right?
literally.
I would advise don't ever put your name on your business. Don't do it. Don't.
If you can name it anything else, what would you name it?
I don't know. I have another kind of manifested events that I pulled together like 2 maybe years ago, and it's like eventually I need this all to be under manifested events, and Shana Bryant Consulting is.
Oh, that's the name of it, manifested events. Oh, I thought you were like, I'm manifested events.
No. Okay, so so I have that is the event planning arm that I need to slowly.
She said, I'm taking my name up off of this. Okay,
but, my name will be kind of like my personal brand, because what happens is you struggle with, well, is SBC my personal brand that I'm trying to push out here? Or yes, part of the personal brand is dope ass event planner, right? But then there's the events can just stand alone, and then SBC is Shana, the speaker, the teacher, the motivation, whatever, right? And so I don't even remember the initial question. Oh, trust of it all, yes.
Trusting the people that you bring on.
But honestly, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. And I think you have to. What I'm learning is you've got to trust yourself as a leader and know that you're just making good decisions for you, right? And I haven't failed myself yet.
Yeah.
Right? And whatever failures or challenges that have happened with whatever decisions, you learn from them, you adjust from them, and then you move forward. But like sitting in that or stewing in like, I can't believe I did that, beating yourself up, like the reality is you're gonna make probably more, I don't know more, but the decisions should get less and less of bad decisions, or they weren't helpful to the business or the growth or whatever. Maybe they was a setback, but you're also going to learn from that stuff.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you're not one of these folks that got to hit your head 5 times to know that like, don't keep doing this, don't do this, right?
Because they say the definition of insanity is
operating, like shame on you one time, shame on me the next time, right? Absolutely. So learn from this stuff. But you do really literally just have to trust yourself, your instinct, your gut. Like if I got myself this far, not that there hasn't been a tremendous amount of support, but I've made really good decisions to get myself this far. So you just gotta like,
that's a big part of the business though, but literally just believing in yourself to be able to function and tell everybody else.
So literally in the moment of like, I don't know if this was a good decision, think back to like, but the decision I made yesterday got me here.
Period.
Right? So generally, I'm making pretty good fucking decisions.
I know. Goddamn, Pigs, are you listening?
And whatever didn't happen or wasn't supposed to happen, like probably few people know.
Exactly.
Nobody even knows.
The show is going, like it's almost like entertainment. The show must go on, and nobody knows that you made a mistake. Yeah,
a hiccup. Just keep it moving.
Absolutely. Now, talking about the show going on, okay, let's get into this open streets business, right? So, how did you stumble upon this contract? Like
literally stumble. So, April of 2021, when events are not happening just yet, we're like slowly figuring out post the pandemic. A friend sent me the bid. And I think I had, me and my admin at that time, maybe had about 4 weeks to pull it together.
Wow.
I had never written up a bid like this or RFP like this. And so, or a proposal rather, proposal like this. And so we reached out to the network of folks that I knew worked at the city and was like, can you connect me to the project manager or the lead on this? I need to figure out what they're looking for with this proposal. And we just kind of figured it out along the way. We put together a budget that may or may not have made sense, but we just put it all together and we submitted it, and it might have been like a 26-page proposal of outline and bios of your team and so forth and so on. And really like 4 weeks to find a team that realizes they probably didn't know exactly what they were committing to, but I'm asking you pretty much to commit to this for the rest of the year or till November. So it was kind of like shoot your shot.
Got you.
Right, just shoot your shot. And it is very easy to do things for the first time when there's so many unknowns that you don't even realize, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, right? Like had never worked with the city on a contract, had never shut down 52 blocks. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was going to say, how did the
vision of it all, was that from your brain?
It was a collective of the team and figuring out, once I secured it, figuring out like, now how do we separate this route? And now we have like zones and hubs and working backwards from this is how big it is. And, JP, the Curly School it just makes sense to use that as a stage.
Absolutely.
So they become an anchor partner on the route. And then over time, you just get better and better with figuring out like what you need, and then the logistics of it all, and the time management of it all, the outreach of it all, the marketing of it all, right? Like we really just had to figure it out as we go along. Figure it out as we went along.
And it's crazy sitting here listening to you talk about it, because somebody that has experienced it, it looks like a Beyonce production. You understand me? Like,
I can't wait. Let's be clear. It is not a Beyonce production, because when I watched her movie, I was in heaven.
I know. I get it.
This woman just said there are 3 stages that are moving at all times. The one here, the one that just left, and the one that's on its way, or at the last. I was like, yo. And then when they showed the lights went out, I was in.
Y'all had to be there to watch that movie. Y'all had to be there.
For me, it was logistics heaven.
Yes.
Watching how they move and how calm she is. But again, this is $1 billion type of situation where she got all the right people to be.
Well, I'm not going to let you shortchange yourself, because to have that brain power to be able to coordinate all these different moving pieces, ma'am, I'm going to give you
brain power. I would even say the emotional
bandwidth. Okay.
Of it all.
Because that's a lot.
To be managing all these moving pieces and make sure people know their roles and their assignment. And I'm gonna need you to just do this really well the day of and nothing else. Ooh. Like I really don't need you to worry if you're outreach. Don't worry about marketing. If you're marketing, don't worry about logistics, right? Like just know, trust the process, trust me that like it is a well-oiled machine. And at this point, we've done 8.
Yes.
So it is a well-oiled machine. And blessed when, the same folks come back, because we've got the institutional knowledge. We don't got to do a lot of training. We can just hit it and go. But yeah, it's a lot, but I love it.
I love it for you. I really do. I couldn't, the way my emotions are set up, I can only do so much.
But this is when like your network, your inner circle, right? Like today's a hard day, or I feel beat up, or today, like the last 2 days, they've been great days, right? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, Q2, let's go, let's go. Right? Like, and so when I'm in a place of like, what? I can be like, girl, do you remember how we started out this quarter or closed out this quarter? Let's keep it moving. Let's go.
Okay,
yeah, let's go.
You. And that's the whole point of having a team that you can call on.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Right.
Now listen, tell us what's in store, because I heard a little birdie had told me that Open Streets was expanded for 2024.
Open Streets has expanded, and so we went from 5 neighborhoods to 6, and so we have added Hyde Park to this year's
Hyde Park
event, which is really exciting. And so we're doing Dorchester, Roxbury, JP, Austin, Bryant, East Boston, and Hyde Park this year.
Can I just say, from somebody who was able to attend a good chunk of the Open Streets, East Boston was low-key my fave. There, I said it.
You said it. Okay.
I said it. East Boston was low-key my fave.
This year, right?
I love the different cultures. That was everywhere.
And the food and the,
East Boston stuck out. It definitely stuck out. It did.
And I'm always curious to hear, like, why one or the other if you've been to all of them. But I do think East Boston is extremely culturally diverse. And, first year, it's always, there's challenges that come with the first year going into any neighborhood. But I'm definitely excited to go back. And I was excited last year when, we put the list together of like, if we could do more, East Boston was number 1 that we needed to hit. Then continue to build off of wherever else. And we'd be thinking about, least resistance,
right,
all that good stuff. But East Boston was tough, but ain't no parking.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one. That was tough.
All
with
the different
parking.
things of like, y'all want us to do things in the street, but there's nowhere to put these cars.
Right.
Then
we're blocking streets.
Right. But I'm excited to head back to East Boston this year with the culture.
And maybe you'll see the Inside the Maze team there doing street coverage. You love that plug? You love it? You love it, Shana?
Yes, I love it. I love the videos that you all did in JP last year.
Yeah, those were the best interviews.
With Sebastian.
Sebastian. So they set the tone. I'll be honest, JP set the tone as far as interviews were concerned. I'll give it to him. Sebastian, so many people asked me about that kid afterwards. Like, Sebastian, if you're watching this, we need
love
you.
you, Sebastian. I hope you come out in July.
Yes.
We're looking for you again.
We need to hear more from you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
Now let us know on two sides, because also Shana has been traveling. As busy as you've been, she's also taken the time to get away.
To get away.
Extensively. I'm so incredibly jealous with the destinations that she's reached just this year. Talk about the importance of that work-life balance for you to be able to function.
So I've learned this new term, and so I'm using it more importantly, intentional imbalance. There is no work-life balance, right? It's absolutely impossible. If you're trying to strive for it, you're never gonna get it, and then you're always gonna feel like a failure or some type of shame because you can't get it. So today, family becomes the priority. Tomorrow, work comes the priority, or literally within the day, right? You might have to prioritize accordingly. But you're really intentional about it. It's not like haphazardly happening. And so for me, prioritizing my mental health, and more importantly, I just don't like the cold. Right? And so, Shana, but you born and raised in Boston. You right.
Come on, can they understand that? We could be born and raised here and not like the cold.
Still not like it, right? I don't like wearing, 3 layers in the house and the heat being 75. It's
ridiculous.
That's just ridiculous. And this year, I have a friend who said that, she has learned how to, or kind of like talk to herself to like, it's gonna be okay. Like, we can get through this. I haven't figured out that yet.
Every year I'm moving.
Every year I'm moving, or every year at this point. Like, how can I extend that? 10 weeks to 12 weeks to 14 to whatever it is. And so my goal really, I don't want to be here from like mid-November after Thanksgiving until April 1st.
I know that's
right. If I can, when I get to that place, that is my ultimate happy place. If that means relocating, or that just means that literally I'm traveling for that amount of time. But for me, it's really important. I know my psyche, my emotional state, it's just better if the ocean is behind me when I'm having this meeting with Mo, right? Like
is.
It is. It's just better. Or I know let me go take a walk real quick in between my work day, or I'm done at 2 because we out. I'm trying to go sit at the beach.
Trying to have happy hour.
Get sunsets or happy hour. Like I'm trying to get sun kissed, and I know, my chocolate skin looks better when it's tan. When
it's in that melanated energy.
Like all of, so I feel better. I work better. I move better when I'm in a warm space.
I might have to take some notes, Shana, because I need to live this life. This is what I aspire to be. Okay. Now tell everybody, for those who don't know, anything that we have up and coming other than the expansion of Open Streets. Anything else?
So what else is going on with Shana Bryant Consulting? As Mo said, we're doing the 6 events for Open Streets. The first one is actually May 5th. So we're starting earlier in the season because we've got 6, and then there's one every month. You can go to openstreets.org and look up the website to get the additional information on that. But once a month from May to October. Nice. I also have reignited a brand called Hustle Times 2, which is the idea that you can have the best of both worlds. So you can have a 9-to-5 and you can have a side hustle, and really taking away
one or the other
kind of, well, not even that, just there's been a narrative of like, if you're not a full-time entrepreneur and you don't go all in, you're not serious, you're not committed. And to me, that's bullshit, because everybody can't just jump. Everybody doesn't have the capital or the benefits to be able to carry them if they jump. You know, we've got family, we've got responsibilities. And so we can't just always make that switch from the 9 to 5, right? We got to pay these bills, we need health insurance, all the things, right? And so, that brand was really created to really debunk that idea, but then also have the conversation with potential entrepreneurs that are anywhere in the phase of ideation to even, executing their business and growing and scaling, and knowing that the trials, the tribulations, the challenges, the successes. And so we've got 2 or 3 panelists that then will share kind of their origin story, how they got here, challenges they face, resources that have been helpful. And really it's just an avenue and an opportunity to motivate and inspire. And in particular, women, Black women in particular, that, really think maybe they want to make this jump, or they're like, I actually love my career, right? Like, I love being a lawyer. That don't mean I can't consult with small businesses and have this extra income, right? or, you know, I love my career, but I also enjoy making cakes or being a balloon artist or whatever. And that doesn't mean that I can't find time to do this passion project. And maybe you're making some money off of it, or maybe it's baseline revenue. But if it's paying for what you need to do with the business, even if you are breaking even, it's money that you didn't have.
Absolutely. It's
right?
automatic profit.
So it becomes automatic profit, particularly if you have a low overhead, like a consulting type services and not, product services.
Okay.
So yeah, Hustle Times 2 is every quarter. And the next one will be June 5th.
Say less. I'm gonna have to pull up because I feel like I'm that person. I love education, but I also love media as my passion. So I'm like,
and when is
I'm
it
marrying
time?
the two together.
What is it?
When do I leap
or not?
Right.
Or if you love it, like you can be teaching 9 to 5 similar, and then doing this, and until this is paying you, and it becomes like a pull to like I really got to make a decision. Because the calendar, I got to keep saying no because opportunities are coming on this end. And it's clear that like, I think if I say yes, I can make this work.
Make it work.
And maybe I can do that part-time.
I actually figured out a way to marry the two worlds. I've created a media curriculum.
Nice.
So hopefully I'll be able to, because it's all about the wording. When I package it all up together.
You then have a curriculum that now you went from, the school being a 9 to 5 to now they're a client, and you can move with several clients and then you get to do what you love. And then you change the pricing model.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's different.
And then you go,
it's way different than the salary. Okay.
Right.
Now listen.
But match your salary.
Yes, ma'am.
Figure out how to minimum.
I'm gonna talk to Shana on my own accord, and she's gonna consult me and get my life together. All right. But in the meantime, let everybody know where they can find you if they need your services, if they just want to pick your brain. All of
well, we don't do the pick your brain no more because it costs.
You gotta pay for
that. So unless I really love you, like you, maybe you can pick my brain for free. But
no, that's right.
We need to stop picking my brain for free because this is 20 years of experience, and it's not free.
That's real, and we have to respect that. You know what I'm saying? People spend a lot of time and energy to develop their craft, so stop asking for services.
So if you in an inbox or like Shana, let's meet up and pick your brain.
I'm not gonna respond.
Probably not.
Respectfully.
Unless I like you, a lot. Enough to be like, I'll sit with you for an hour, a couple hours.
Because your business is consulting. So you'll be asking me to do something that I do for business.
Right.
Let's be real.
But yeah, so you can find me Shana, Shana, Bryant.
Not Shana.
Right. But when you spell it, that's where they get this foolishness from. Because we didn't want to do no W's or U's or N's, right? So I get it. And I have no problem correcting people. So that's the whole other, like, I enjoy telling people what to do. I will correct you how to say my name correctly.
It's my favorite thing to do.
But Shana Bryant Consulting on social media, IG, LinkedIn, and then ShanaBryant.net is my website. Nice. If you're looking for a consultation and we need to do an intake and you've got an event, you're a nonprofit or a for-profit or a government entity, and you certified with the city of Boston and the state of Massachusetts. So if you need somebody to come in there and execute what is a memorable event that appears flawless, you probably should call me.
I know that's right.
Shana Bryant.
Period. It don't get no better than that. Now listen, I don't even know how to follow that because that was a pitch. You understand me? If you're looking for me, you're probably not because you're looking for Shana. You can find me, Miss Mofilla, on everything. Also follow my website, MissMofilla.com, to keep track of all the different things I'm doing, including that curriculum I spoke about.
That curriculum, we're gonna talk more. I'm
gonna talk more. Yes,
I'm gonna be like, Mom, so what's happening with this curriculum you mentioned on like TV?
Ooh, she about to get me.
But it is important to say it out loud. Yes, right?
Absolutely. Because then I need accountability in my life. So thank you. Thank you very much. Listen, Shana's about to get me together for real.
Yeah.
And while she's getting me together, get y'all lives together, okay? And make sure you follow Inside the Maze on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on this channel right here. And hit that notification bell so you can keep track of everything we're doing here. Inside the Maze is growing and only getting better from here. And I'm excited for what's to come, man. But it's the Critical Breakdown. Ms. Mofilla, Shana Bryant, okay? The one and only.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you for finally coming.
I know. Like, I'm here. I'm here for like 8 months and then I'm out.
Listen, I'm coming next. I'm in our suitcase next time, y'all. Peace out.